Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1246. Hello, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere here in Podcastro Valley, Mont. 1246. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I had a very interesting Christmas. And one of the things I got was a big thank you from someone I helped out.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Marco. He brought me, the guy who does the Marco Minute sometimes. We haven't done it in a long time on the show, but
Mike's Daily Podcast.
He came over today and gave me a bunch of McDonald's food. Now it's going to my area. That makes me go sit down somewhere and think about things like the show today, which I had really no song there, so let's continue.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A horse just walked into Cafe Anyway to try and save me. Yes, the show
Mike's
is going to be
Daily
a short one today.
Podcast.
Really short because there's so much going on. That's why. I still have not been to Cripsman in Fremont and their Christmas lights. Do people keep their Christmas lights up for the whole week after Christmas? The cool people do. I know some that don't. They go, nope, it's all down. Christmas tree goes out on the street. Done with this stinking holiday, and they move on. Well, I'm hoping to see some Christmas lights at Cripsman. And then also there's this place up in Green Ridge near where I live in Podcastro Valley that has this one house has so many lights. It's insane, and they've got a automatronic Santa waving to you. But you know, after you see enough of those, you just go, well, these are just people with money. First off, they spend all that money at Home Depot to buy these things, and then they spend all that electricity to keep it going all night. And then you're just sort of, maybe I'm not that into this anymore. Yeah, it's kind of nice the first couple of times, but it's not like seeing a beautiful sunset that just rocks your world. That's rare, but that's more important. And you know what? If you do want to see some nice Christmas lights, you should go to Livermore and drive over near Sycamore Grove Park. The houses right across the street from that park. Wow, there's some beautiful... And there's, what's it called? Hoden something Park near there. All the houses around there were really lit up nice. But look who just walked in. Just now. Into here. Where we do the show. Hello, my commander. It's Madame Rootabega and Happy New Year. Yeah, New Year's coming. 2017. Oh, by the way, if you want to hear an awesome podcast, unlike this one, you want to listen to this. Okay, this is an awesome show. What am I saying to you now? And beer is good. Beer. Listen to this guy I know named Vince. He does this podcast called Vince on the Bay, and he broke down the recent Edward Snowden interview. The guy that owns Twitter, that started Twitter, interviews him, and he totally breaks it down. Vince does such a good job with it. So listen to it, look it up on Google Play or iTunes, Vince on the Bay. And I was rolling. Last night, as I was leaving the Livermore area near Sycamore Grove Park, I said, hey, Google Play or Google Maps or Google whatever it is, Google Girl, get me home to Podcastro Valley. So I'll be there in time to see the Jewish festival going on, the Hanukkah festival. And it got me home. Like in 30 minutes, but it had me go this back way that I had no idea. I thought it was taking me to, I don't know, Neverland. And I was going to be jamming with that band that we love, Metallica, that we play all the time on this show. No, we don't. By the way, coming up, we're going to talk about another artist who we lost in 2016. I'll be glad when this year is over. This was a bad year, as James Oliver so well put succinctly. Yeah, so that was where I was going with all that. Was look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Yeah, Mike, we're really glad that the new year is gonna start. We didn't like 2016.
Yeah, we wanted Chris Christie to win. Do you know that? That's why you guys are starting a third party.
Yeah, a third party.
Yeah, third party. Do you know that? Wonderful. I would love to tell you more about the wonderful website that you can find the podcast picture on called MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And there's also, if you want to help out, the Amazon link. There's an Amazon link there to help us out through Amazon if you're going to buy any of those extra deals at the end of the year. Or maybe you're going to buy someone a gift certificate to a fast food place. I had a fast food breakfast from McDonald's. Thank you, Marco. Oh, boy. I'm feeling the coma now. And yesterday I didn't eat very good either, because I went to and stopped at Der Wiener Schnitzel. Der Wiener Schnitzel keeps sending me all these coupons, and I have so many coupons, and I said, okay, finally I'll use it. I'll break down and do it. And if you stand at a Der Wiener Schnitzel for longer than 5 minutes, you're bound to see, or less than 5 minutes, you will see some circus freak of some sort come by. Hey, circus freaks were fun. Actually, that probably was not a PC term, was it? Anyway, some sort of freak will stop by, and you'll get to talk to them, and it'll be fun if you're looking for that.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Anyway. Cafe Anyway. The podcast picture is actually from yesterday when I was walking in Sycamore Grove Park, and it was awfully cold. See that picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. But I did make it back to Podcaster Valley in time for the Hanukkah Festival, which was tiny. It just sat on the extent of the bridge, which is a very tiny bridge, on the sidewalk in Castro Valley. Rabbi had set up a bunch of pans of latkes and latkes. I still can't say that word. And some donuts. And there was like music playing, Hanukkah music playing, and there was somebody dressed. It didn't sound like that, and somebody dressed as a dreidel. So that was a very interesting thing. I made it back in time for that in Podcaster Valley. And tonight they're having a Hanukkah music performance in the library in Podcaster Valley. So that's happening, and it's a good thing that it's happening. It makes the world an interesting place anyway. Anyway. Cafe Anyway. Also at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, there's the link to the PayPal. You can click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to... Wait, is that how PayPal works? I don't know. There's a link to that, and you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters, and there's past interviews at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. I have to get to this story now. This happened just as I was wrapping up the last podcast. I was posting it, and I didn't have time to comment on this, but here we go. Let's go with the news random sounder.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
News random.
It was really sad to hear George Michael died. And that happened on Christmas Day. And he's so well known for a song called Last Christmas. It's very ironic. I was just thinking that morning, Christmas Day morning, how so many people have covered Last Christmas, and he, of course, just does the best with it. And James Corden, who is well known now for Carpool Karaoke, he's going to be hosting the Grammys. He has all these people want to be on Carpool Karaoke with him, including Madonna and Mariah Carey. What many don't know is that pop star George Michael, who died at the age of 53, of course, was very popular in the 80s, was Corden's first ever partner in the shtick, way before it was even on the Late Show, from when Corden took over as host in 2015, according to the Huffington Post and MSN. The debut of the winning partnerships that would later feature star turns from A-listers, including Adele, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Elton John, Michelle Obama. It began in 2011 as a charity skit. In the sketch for the British anti-poverty charity Comic Relief, Corden, in character as Smithy from his BBC sitcom Gavin and Stacey, yeah, how many Americans know about that, cheers up Michael as they belt out Wham songs. Quote, there was something very joyful about it, James Corden later told Stephen Colbert about the first car riding sing-along. We wondered if it was an idea. Los Angeles traffic, carpool lanes, karaoke traffic, driving people in the car, singing. On Sunday, Corden joined many celebrities in mourning the passing of the musician, calling him an absolute inspiration. And always ahead of his time. He wrote a song called Praying for Time. James Corden mentioned that. He wrote that 25 years ago. He says, but I truly believe it's a message that means more than ever now. I was talking to Marco this morning about George Michael and about how he did a tribute to Freddie Mercury when Freddie Mercury passed. And they did a special concert, the band Queen did, with different members. David Bowie, who he lost this year, he sang with the Eurythmics' Annie Lennox. They sang the song Under Pressure together. And George Michael did Bring Me Somebody to Love, and he did such a good voice, such a good job. His voice just amazing. Such a range of singing. His voice could hit so many octaves. And then he, of course, did the Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me with Elton John. And it must be a sad day for Elton John as well. According to what Marco said, George Michael died of some heart issues, so that was a shock to me as well. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Short show today. I also mentioned the whole Elton John. He's lasted a long time. He's beat a lot of odds, hasn't he? He had a lot of drug dependency issues back in his early days, and then he had an AIDS scare, and there was all kinds of things that happened, and he turned it all around in the 90s. And I guess he looks kind of big, heavy, but he's somehow surviving, so hopefully we'll keep Elton John around for a long, long while. But we did lose some greats in 2016. Prince, David Bowie, George Michael, and don't forget Glenn Frey of the Eagles and Leonard Cohen. He wasn't really a pop icon in the 80s, but he did have a big comeback in the 80s with his new, deeper voice style. I remember seeing him on a lot of shows and inspiring a lot of people into the 90s and, of course, up to the present. But yeah, I might be missing someone. Sharon Jones. We lost her. She wasn't really a big star in the 80s, but an amazing singer. She worked with the Dap Kings that produced the album for Amy Winehouse. But that's going to wrap up the show today. It's a short one. I got a lot going on today. I got to take off, and I know you do too. So let's get going and enjoy your day.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Next show, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. George, we'll miss you. You finally have your freedom.